Welcome to the guide for Specter's Abyss, the first dungeon you'll face in Throne and Liberty. After reaching level 20 and completing Chapter 4, you'll unlock this dungeon through an appendix quest. Head over to Petra and Vienta Village, and let's dive into everything you need to know to conquer this challenge.
Let's see, where can I find some strong adventurers? Wait, you, the dashing adventurer over there. How would you like to explore the unknown? I can draw a dimensional circle for you if you'd like. Dimensional circles are an ancient kind of magic. It's taken a long time and a lot of effort, but I finally managed to replicate it. There's so much I want to know about the world beyond the dimensional circle, but those monsters make it nearly impossible to do any research. You wouldn't believe how many close calls I've had. You seem strong enough. I bet you'd fare far better there than I have. And who knows what wonderful things you might discover while you're there. Will you give it a try at least? I want to go find it myself, but I had an injury while escaping from the dimension last time and haven't recovered yet. Alas, what can I do? Without it, research on the dimensional circle will come to nothing. Really? Thank you. You can probably find my research journal somewhere in the Specter Abyss. There are many interesting things beyond the dimensional circle. Maybe you'll find something special. Instead, I recommend that, when entering the dimensional circle, you go with other colleagues. You are strong enough, but it's quite dangerous there. Well, please take care of yourself.
Now that you've spoken to Petra and are ready to start Specter's Abyss, there are two ways to enter the dungeon. You can either interact with the dimensional circle in the world, or access the co-op dungeon menu directly from your interface. Once there, select Specter's Abyss, and don't panic if the screen looks complex. You'll see all the key details, like the level requirement and expected rewards. Next, simply select your role, whether that's a tank, healer, or damage dealer, and hit Party Matchmaking. Now just wait for the system to find a full group for you. Once the party is complete, you'll be ready to jump into the dungeon. If you ever need to communicate with your party members during the dungeon, simply open the chat menu and select Party. It's crucial to ask questions or coordinate strategies early, especially if it's your first time in Specter's Abyss. Communication is the key to making the run smoother, and it ensures everyone knows what they're supposed to be doing, whether it's tanking, healing, or dealing damage. In the first room of the dungeon, you'll be met with waves of basic enemies. While these aren't particularly difficult, they serve as a great warm-up for your team to get into rhythm. This is where the tank steps in to lead the group, pulling enemies carefully so they don't swarm the party. The tank's role is to keep the enemy's attention, or aggro on themselves. Meanwhile, the DPS players focus on quickly eliminating the enemies, and the healer makes sure everyone's health stays topped up. It's important for the tank to maintain control over all the enemies. If any break free from the tank's aggro and start attacking other players, it could spell trouble for the group. Tanks should use their taunts and abilities wisely, ensuring that no enemy slips through their grasp. Coordination here is key. If everyone knows their role and stays focused, you'll breeze through this early part of the dungeon. After clearing the first wave of enemies, you'll encounter another group of tougher foes. These mobs are stronger and will require more careful handling. The tank should pull enemies one at a time to prevent the group from being overwhelmed, while the rest of the team focuses on taking them down quickly. Crowd control is crucial here to keep the fight manageable and ensure the party stays in good shape before moving to the mini-boss, Elite Archeum Shadowmancer. This mini-boss uses two key mechanics. First, it lifts a player into the air, draining their health. To counter this, your team must interrupt the ability quickly. Second, it summons dark circles on the ground that deal damage over time, so make sure to keep moving and avoid standing in them to stay safe. Once you've defeated the mini-boss, a gate will open, leading your party into the next area of the dungeon. This next section introduces a small puzzle. You'll come across 2 separate rooms, and each room contains a lever. Both levers must be pulled to unlock the gate that leads to the next part of the dungeon. However, before you can pull these levers, you'll need to clear out the enemies within each room. These mobs might not be as difficult as a boss, but they can easily overwhelm your group if you're not careful. It's essential for your tank to carefully pull these enemies in manageable numbers to ensure the group isn't swarmed. Meanwhile, your DPS should focus on eliminating them efficiently, while your healer keeps everyone's health in check. Don't rush here. Take your time to control the fight and avoid unnecessary damage. Once the enemies are dealt with, your party has 2 options for handling the levers. If your group feels confident and is well coordinated, you can split into 2 teams, with one group clearing each room and pulling both levers at the same time. This can save time, but it does come with risks. If you're not sure whether your team can handle it, there's nothing wrong with playing it safe. You can clear one room, pull the lever, and then move to the next room to finish off the remaining enemies and pull the second lever. This method might take a bit longer, but it's safer and ensures you won't get overwhelmed. After you've pulled both levers and cleared out all the enemies, the gate to the next area will unlock. This section is important because it leads to the next mini-boss, the Riot Squad Captain. But before you rush in to face him, make sure to clear out any lingering mobs in the area. Leaving them behind can cause major problems during the boss fight, as they might engage and overwhelm your party at the worst possible time. The Riot Squad Captain uses a blue shield to make himself invulnerable during parts of the fight. When the shield is up, hold off on attacking. Instead, wait for the shield to drop, which is when he'll unleash a powerful area of effect strike. Be ready to dodge or move away. Once the shield is down, focus your attacks and deal as much damage as possible while avoiding his area attacks. With the right timing, you'll take him down efficiently. After defeating the mini-boss, a gate will open, leading you to a campfire. This is your chance to sit down and restore your health before moving on to the final boss. At the campfire, you can take a moment to cook, regenerate resources, and ensure that everyone is fully prepared for the next fight. It's a good time to rest, recharge, and make sure your group is ready for the challenges ahead. Use this time wisely before heading into the final encounter. To begin the final boss encounter, you'll need to interact with the object in the middle of the room. This will trigger the fight and summon Heliber, a powerful undead warrior who is the dungeon's final challenge. Heliber has several dangerous mechanics that your team will need to manage carefully. One of his most threatening abilities is his cone-shaped attack. This attack targets a specific area in front of him and deals heavy damage to anyone caught in it. To avoid this, be sure to stay behind him as much as possible. If you're the tank, position Heliber so that the cone doesn't hit other party members. Another key mechanic is his teleportation. Heliber will randomly teleport behind one of your party members and follow it up with a quick strike. Be prepared to move quickly. and your healer should be ready to top up health if someone takes unexpected damage from this attack. One of the biggest dangers in this fight is his Dark Cloud ability. When Heliber casts Dark Cloud, a large dark area will form, and everyone in your party must stand inside it to share the damage. If just one player stays outside, they could be instantly killed by the damage. So it's critical that everyone quickly groups up inside the cloud to survive. As the fight progresses, Heliber's attacks will come faster, and the damage will increase. So make sure your DPS is doing consistent damage, while the tank and healer manage the mechanics and keep the group alive. With good positioning, awareness, and teamwork, you'll be able to defeat Heliber and complete the dungeon. After defeating Heliber, you'll receive a chest filled with rewards. But to claim the best gear, you'll need to spend dimensional contract tokens. These tokens can be earned through completing dungeons like Specter Abyss, as well as from daily and weekly quests, guild missions, and special in-game events. At this point, you'll have a decision to make. Spend your tokens now to unlock higher quality gear, or save them for future dungeons, where you might find even better loot. It's a strategic choice. If you need the gear now, spending tokens can boost your character's power, but holding on to them might be a smarter move for higher level content later. Choose wisely, based on your current needs and the progression of your character. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this content and found it helpful, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more guides and gameplay tips. Your support helps the channel grow, and there's plenty more content coming your way. Feel free to leave a comment with any questions or suggestions, and I'll see you in the next video.